what I'd like to do is to introduce our next speaker, who is really looking forward to this, not frightened, not nervous at all, but she's very kindly agreed to speak this evening. So Kayleigh Taylor, who is with us, is a hard-working mum and wife, not a single mum, as I assumed when I was asking her about what I'm going to say, and I've stalked her on Facebook, so it's not weird. Through UW, I think it's fair to say that she has turned around a fairly dire financial situation and is now a true success story, achieving many incentives along the way, and recently picking up her BMW Mini. So really, if you could put your hands together for Kayleigh. Thank you. Do you want a chair?
I'm actually. Hi everyone. Anyone that knows me will know that I can talk for England, but I don't like talking in front of other people, so I hope this isn't really awkward. I joined UW 3.5 years ago. A bit before that, I decided that I lived in Luton, born and bred in Luton, and decided after a few different things that went on that I didn't really want to bring my children up there anymore, and we were going to move away and we were going to try life in the country. So we upped sticks 5 years ago and moved to Clare. I don't know if anybody knows it, about 40 minutes from here, and absolutely love it. On doing that, I didn't have a job there. My husband was self-employed as a gardener, so he had to start his business again, and I thought it'd be a really good idea to open a children's shop in Clare because there's nothing there for them. So we opened a sweet shop, toy shop, ice creams, waffles, that sort of thing. Thought, why wouldn't everybody want to use it? Because there's nothing for children in Clare. Turns out nobody really wants to use it. So after 2 years and trying everything and anything, it was time to call it a day, and I've been networking for a while, trying to promote my shop and trying to build a bit of excitement around it, where I'd met my upline Alison, and she kept buying sweets from the shop and coming in and saying, have some more lemon sherbets please, Kayleigh, remember I do UW. And I was going, thanks Alison, but no. And then a month later we'd meet at networking and she'd come in for some more lemon sherbets and I'd say, thanks Alison, but no. Did you buy chocolate as well? Yeah, Christmas market was on, Alison was there. And I kept turning her down. Kept saying, no, this is absolutely not for me. I've got this shop and I'm going to make this shop work. Alison could clearly see straight through my disaster that was going on in the background. And it was 3 years ago. It was only 4 years in November. I went to Tesco's to do my food shopping and I had to walk away without the food. I stood there and checked all the bank accounts and there wasn't enough to pay for it. And that was probably, it makes me like thinking about it. Sorry. Will you stop? It was the most demoralising moment of my life because I had 2 children at home and I couldn't put food on the table. I wasn't going to do this. So I went home in a complete state, as you can probably imagine. I can remember just getting in the shower and just sobbing and thinking, what on earth has happened? Like, we were supposed to start this new life, my children were supposed to have a better life, and here we are with not even being able to buy a food shop. What I was also doing was working the shop from 8:30 every morning to 4:30. I would then go home, quickly feed the kids if I bought a food shop, and I would then go waitressing until midnight, 4 nights a week. I also sat at the shop with not a lot of customers and counted traffic for a data collection company, which was horrendous. How many people went round the roundabout this many times in an hour? Could we build it? Oh, it was just awful. But you know what? It brought in a few extra pounds, literally a few extra pounds. And again, Alison could see this was an issue, but I was determined the shop was going to work. The next morning after the food shop disaster, I called my dad and said, Dad, I'm going to lose everything. I don't know what to do. And my dad, being the wonderful dad that he is, went, don't worry kid, leave it with me. So I put the phone down and thought, My mum and dad haven't got much to listen. They're not quite sure what they're going to do about this situation. And then my dad rang me back and went, "You've just become a UW partner." And I was like, "What?" "I have 3 jobs, Dad. I can't fit a 4th thing." "No, I've called Alison. I've paid you £100 joining fee, because that's what it was nearly 4 years ago, and you are now a partner." And my gut reaction was I was fuming. Because I just thought, what are you thinking? I'm really trying here. And you've just thrown another job in the mix. But having sat there for another day with no customers, I then thought I have 2 choices here. I don't bother, or I absolutely run with it. So I decided to absolutely run with it, and Alison came out with me and she supported my appointments. And in my first month, I gathered enough customers to earn myself just shy of £2,500. Now, that's what this can do. And it was the most I brought home from the shop was £600 a month. This doesn't pay many bills. My husband works full time as well, but between us with the bills and everything as they were, it just wasn't enough. So after receiving that commission statement, I wrote my notice and I handed it in at the shop, and I think I had to give 8 weeks or 6 weeks notice. People might think I'm psychic, I'm not, but that 8 weeks ran to 3 days before the country went into lockdown. And we had no idea then that COVID even existed when I wrote my notice. So I thank my lucky stars that I then didn't have to go through that cycle of trying to keep it afloat then as well. I can remember receiving that money for the first time, and I was in Bury St Edmunds, and Stan, who is Alison's upline, called me and she said, "How does it feel? You've just received your first pay, and one day you'll be driving a Mini." And I was like, "It's never going to happen. It's just not, great. I earned all this money, but there's no way I'm ever going to get the Mini." And in January this year, I ordered my Mini and I picked it up at the end of July, which is more important than ever to me, because once I'd cleared the debt from the shop, which I managed to do in 3 months, thank you to UW again, because that was my income at the time. We then spent a couple of years saving, got back into work and different things, and kind of got things back on track. And we could buy a house again, because we'd lived in a 2-bedroom annex through the whole of COVID, which wasn't much fun with no garden, 2 children, and homeschooling and everything else. And when we bought our house, the mortgage company told us we had to sell our car because we couldn't afford it. And it was on finance, and we only had a year left. So I was gutted because I loved my car, and it had to go. So suddenly I live in Clare with no amenities, and I've got no car. So sadly, my nan's husband passed away really suddenly, not long after that. And she said to me, "Kayleigh, I don't want to see that car on the drive, I don't drive. Go and put it at the end of the road and put 3 in the window." And to be honest, it didn't enter my head, but my mum said, you really need a car. Like, you can't live without a car. I'll mention it. So since then, we've been driving around in a 13-year-old car that, bless it, I've ragged the life out of it. That car came to me 40,000 miles, and I've more than doubled it in 2 years. Good luck to the Mini, is all I can say. I'm about to cripple it. So to be able to pick up that new car and drive, it's the best feeling. It really is, and my kids love it, and it's such an achievement. And I can't say to anyone enough how that feels to go up to head office. They spoil you rotten like UW do with everything. And to pick up that car is such an amazing feeling. So anybody that maybe hasn't thought about it, or hasn't, I don't know, it might not be on your list of achievements you want to get, put it on there, because it's a really special feeling. Let me just go back to my notes, see where I got to. Oh yeah. You have to keep going, you have to keep moving on from it. You will get the no's, it will be rubbish. I've taken 10 months out at one point, in August 2021. Here we go again. My brother-in-law was very, very unwell with his mental health. My sister is stuck there. At that time they had a newborn baby and a 5-year-old. And life pretty much did a 360 in a split second. And she needed me, and she needed family, and I just didn't have the headspace to focus on UW. So honestly, I put it down. I didn't touch it for months. He thankfully is now very well. Amber's done amazingly. Don't look at me. My best friend then had a baby in December 21, who was born with a really, really rare liver disease, and at 6 weeks old had to undergo a liver transplant. And I was lucky enough to be a match for him and was able to donate part of my liver so that he could be here. He's going to be, oh God's sake, I'm broken. He's going to be 2 in October. He's absolutely thriving. I could put this down. I could then pick it back up 10 months later when I was ready, and I wasn't penalised for that. Nothing got taken away from me. I put it down because I felt at the time I had to. Admittedly, I look back and think, you definitely could have done it, like we all probably do. But I picked it up, grabbed it with both hands and ran with it again, because you can. This business, just what it offers us is endless. I don't believe there is a better opportunity in this country for anybody. And I think every single person in this room will have a story. Don't let it be your excuse. Let it be your reason. Let it be the thing that fires you up and keeps you going and gets you out of bed every day and picking up the phone when we're really scared to. Let's be honest, I still hate it now. Send that message that you've rewritten 4 million times because it didn't look quite right, and what are they going to think, and just show everybody. Because if Alison hadn't have kept buying those lemon sherbets and the chocolate, God only knows like what I'd be doing right now. I work full time for a joinery company. I love it. I love that job. I have 2 children at home. I fit this around it, and it just works. I can earn the same here as I can in my full-time job. I don't want to give up my full-time job. I really like it. But you can make it work around whatever works for you, whether it's one appointment, one customer, a week, a month, a day. Just use it to your advantage and do what's right for you and your families or your reasons, and just enjoy it and have fun on the way, I guess. Because I guess we're in a room of like-minded people, and we've all got our journey. We've all got a journey to go on. So yeah, that is me.
Well done.
An emotional wreck.
Kayleigh, I think
But it wasn't.
you've done so well tonight. Kayleigh said she's going to be boring, and it's like there's not a dry eye in the house. You honestly, excuse me a second, don't go anywhere just yet. So, from point of view, you mentioned Alison a few times. So, Alison, you're up line, please. Your moment.
Thank you.